Hello and welcome to a brand new Parry's Pickups. Thanks very much for joining us today. First of all, we're going to talk about a Game Gear game. For those who watch Parry's Pickups regularly, you'll know that I picked up a Sega Game Gear not so long ago. After having a few faulty consoles in the past, I've finally got a working one now, so I'm buying some games for it. Game Gear games are pretty affordable. I've not spent more than £5 on any one Game Gear game, the ones I picked up recently. Of course, there were two in the last episode, but one more for you this week, and that game is it's Micro Machines. And Micro Machines is an absolute classic. It goes without saying, really. This Game Gear version is fantastic, really good. I've not played the Master System version to compare it to, but from say the Mega Drive version, other versions I've played of Micro Machines, this is a very good version of the game. There's multiplayer. You can actually play two-player with one Game Gear, as you could with some other consoles. You know, use one half of the controller for one player, one half for the other, just because the controls are so simple. I think there's also two-player using a link cable as well. Whether or not that means you can have four-player if you go two to a Game Gear and link up, I don't know. I'm not sure that would work. But everything that's in this game is fantastic. The thing about Micro Machines, it's playability. The game is endlessly playable. It's easy to pick up and just great fun to play. So yeah, the original Micro Machines is great in any system, but if you want a really good portable version of that game, then I can highly recommend the Game Gear version. Sticking with handheld games for the moment, here is Tony Hawk's Underground 2 Remix. So over the course of Parry's Pickups, I've picked up quite a few Tony Hawk's games. In fact, I think I own at least one for every system that I own, including the N-Gage actually. But this is Underground 2. Now this is available in other formats, but not in this remix edition as far as I'm aware, which adds 16 levels. Well, sorry, it's had 4 exclusive PSP levels, so it's got a total of 16. You get a classic mode and the story mode in this, so if you just want to play the regular good old Tony Hawk type gameplay, like in the first 4, I think, installments. There's a 5th, but you know, I don't hear good things about the 5th. Then you can jump right in to the classic mode. Or you've got the story mode, which includes Bam from Jackass, I think. Anyway, that's Tony Hawk's Underground 2 Remix. Not played much for it yet. I did jump into the classic mode, and that is exactly what you expect. Whereas the other mode, obviously the story mode, is a little bit more to it. But this is a great handheld Tony Hawk's game. If you want something that's incredibly close to the console experience, then I can recommend this. From what I've played, I need to spend a little bit more time with it, yeah. Next game we're going to talk about is Captain America Super Soldier for the Xbox 360. I've been wondering about this game for quite some time, but it seems to be rather expensive, even second hand. I picked this up for £10 from CEX, which is more than I really wanted to pay, but I'm not disappointed and quite happy with my purchase actually. What can I say about this game? It's a great third-person action game. It takes some cues from Batman Arkham Asylum and its combat. When you're surrounded by multiple enemies, you know, you dodge and attack, and yeah, you see it a lot in superhero games, but that's probably because it works so well. So, you know, it's fine. It doesn't matter to me. It's not an original gameplay mechanic. It works well in this game. Visuals are really nice. You've even got Chris Evans voicing Captain America, which is perfect. So if you're a fan of the character, this game really does do him justice. And yeah, the combat is what you'd expect. Punching, kicking, but you can also use your shield, of course. Which is great fun. You can either manually target with your shield or just fire it out automatically in front of you. You have to manually target here and there. There's some great acrobatic sections too, where you have to do timed button presses to get from place to place. There's no actual jump button in this game. It's sort of like every acrobatic sequence is sort of, you know, orchestrated kind of thing, so you just tap the button in the right time, which is fine because it looks great. Most of the gameplay is centred around the combat, but there is some exploring to be done as well. There's lots of things to pick up, secret files. There's loads of stuff. There's briefcases. There's oh gosh, all sorts of different objects that you can collect. And I actually really like that element of the game. You know, it made me want to explore the areas a bit more and take in what are some really lovely graphics actually in this game. So I really like it. I mean, it's very playable. If you're a fan of Captain America especially, you're going to get a lot out of this. I like the character. Not a huge comic book kind of guy, but this game is really good. And if you're just a fan of the films, I mean, I've seen all the latest superhero films and such. What I think is really nice is after you've watched maybe a Captain America film or a Avengers film, and you're really in the mood for more of that, you can jump to a game like this and actually play as Captain America, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by this at all. So yeah, it's well worth checking out. I would recommend it, and that's Captain America Super Soldier. It's available on just about everything, even the Wii, so not sure how that version stacks up, but I'm assuming the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions are pretty much the same. And lastly, we have, there's no escaping Sonic the Hedgehog. Of course, last week we talked about Sonic Mania in some detail. This week we've got Sonic Gems Collection. Now, I do already own this game on the GameCube. I actually bought it on release whenever this game came out. It was quite some time ago, 2005 I think might have been. Anyway, what you get on here is you get Sonic CD, you get Sonic the Fighters, which until this game came out was exclusive to the arcade as far as I'm aware, and Sonic R, which hasn't been re-released many times. It's on the PC and it's on the Saturn, but it's also now, using this collection, available on the PS2 and the GameCube. This wasn't released on original Xbox for whatever reason, not sure why. So you get 6 bonus Game Gear classics as well. Either Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic Spinball, Sonic Hedgehog Triple Trouble, Sonic Drift 2, Tails, Sky Patrol, and Tails Adventures. And I'll go into them all in a little bit of detail in a moment. So it's a fairly comprehensive package and sort of a sequel to the Sonic Mega Collection, which was released on pretty much every format at the time. So the reason you may want to pick this game up is because it's got Sonic CD on it, which is one of the best Sonic titles, there's no doubt about that. It's really fun to play through. It's also quite easy in its kind of most standard form. To get the most out of Sonic CD, you're encouraged to, well, I won't say you're actively encouraged because the game never tells you this, but if you want to get the real ending, then you must use a time travel mechanic to go back and forward in time and destroy certain machines in order to get the good future for each level. Because basically Robotnik's gone and done something in the past, and he's turned all this beautiful kind of landscape into this robotic world. You know, it's up to Sonic trying, as well as save his girlfriend Amy. And yeah, if you complete the game without doing all the extra stuff like the time travelling, which you will do by accident, but you know, the incentive is to destroy the machines. If you complete it without doing that, then you'll rescue Amy, but you'll get a try again screen. So that's a bit of a shame, and I think the game could have done a little bit of a better job of explaining these mechanics of the time travel and really what you have to do, because it isn't very apparent. And so for that reason, I don't think Sonic CD is the best Sonic game, as a lot of people would say. But it's certainly a very good one, very influential, especially for Sonic Mania. It takes a lot of cues from Sonic CD. It's got a great soundtrack. This game has the American soundtrack for Sonic CD as opposed to the Japanese soundtrack, which I don't think is available in this version. But if you are to download the game on either Xbox 360 or PS3, you can get the choice whether you want to play with the original Japanese soundtrack or the American soundtrack. Both are pretty good. I've played most with the American soundtrack, which I really like. The Japanese one I can't remember as well, just because I haven't played with it as much, but yeah, it's meant to be really good as well. So Sonic the Fighters, yep, that's a fighting game. It's a bit like Virtua Fighter, because it's the same team that made it. It's okay, you know, there's not a lot to it really. It's more of a simple fighter. So if you're new to the genre, it's a fun one. You know, you like Sonic, you're new to fighters. It's a good one to pick up and play. It looks nice enough, and it features the character Fang, which you don't always see in Sonic games. And I've always found him really cool. First introduced to him in Sonic comic as Knack the Weasel, but yeah, he's more commonly referred to as Fang in a lot of these games. And then you got Sonic R. Now, Sonic R is a game I played a lot back on the PC. And really enjoyed it actually. It's made by Traveller's Tales. It's a racing game. You don't have to accelerate, you just push forward, and Sonic's not in a car in this game or anything. You're just propelled by your own legs. And yeah, it's a good game. I like it. I get a lot out of it. Sonic Hedgehog 2, this is a Game Gear Master System version of that, is on here as well, in the Game Gear form. The problem with that one is that the first boss is a little bit more tricky on the Game Gear version than on the Master System version because of limited screen size, and there's more difficulty, I think, in the patterns he does, or it could just be, as I say, the small screen size. Of course, that's still a problem on the TV because the Game Gear game doesn't zoom out or anything. It's still as zoomed in as it was on the Game Gear, but it's just bigger. Sonic Spinball, I haven't played much of that actually. I've played it more on the Mega Drive. I didn't try out this version actually, but I think it's okay. I did play Sonic the Hedgehog Triple Trouble. I have played a bit of that in the past as well. It's a Game Gear exclusive Sonic game, which has a lot in common with Sonic Chaos, which was released on Master System and Game Gear. It's actually really good, and I think it's the only Game Gear one to have Sonic Spin Dash in it. Plays really well. It's again got Fang in it, so you know, give it a go. It's really good. Sonic Drift 2 isn't the best karting game. It just sort of throw a few crazy corners at you out of the blue, and you will run into a lot of obstacles that are hard to avoid. But you know, when you get past those issues, it's okay. It's not bad. But yeah, it's not the most amazing game. Tails Sky Patrol is a little bit of a disappointment. It's got a weird sort of mechanic where you're always flying and you have a ring, and then you use that ring that you're carrying to sort of interact with things to get through these courses. But I don't like it personally, and I've not got much time for Scale Sky. I keep calling it Scales. Tails Sky Patrol. Last of all, you've got Tails Adventures, which is a more traditional platform game, but rather than the normal spin attack, Tails can throw bombs, which is a bit weird, but he does it in this game. You can also fly, of course, and you've got a meter. You've only got certain amounts of time that you can fly. I think you can build this up somehow because the meter is very small at the start. So it's actually a pretty good game. It's quite nice to look at as well. It's just I've got to get used to this flying thing because I would go up to a part where I knew I had to fly, but I didn't have enough energy in order to. Because Tails gets tired as soon as he starts flying. So yeah, I'm not sure about that mechanic in the game yet, but I'm willing to play that a bit more. I quite like it. Now it boasts hundreds of unlockables to discover along the way, and it's not wrong. But you really have to put in a lot of time to get those unlockables. So there's strange things like play the game for more than 24 hours, play the game for more than 50 hours, play the game consecutively for a number of days in order to unlock things. You can unlock things like Streets of Rage, but they're the Japanese version. So Bare Knuckle 1, 2 and 3, which are Streets of Rage 1, 2 and 3, are available in this compilation as well, as is Vector Man and Vector Man 2. There's even demos of, strangely, elements of some of the Mega Drive Sonic games too. So there's a lot to unlock, but you're going to have to go online to look up exactly how to unlock a lot of this content that's on here. So yeah, it's a little bit of a shame it's so tucked away, but you know, it's there. So it's worth playing in whatever format you can get it on. So it's available on the GameCube and the PS2. This is a very affordable game. I got it for £2.50. It's yeah, just to have it on the PlayStation and the ability to play those games on PS2. So that is it for this episode of Parry's Pickups. Once again, thank you so much for watching the video. I'd really appreciate your comments below if you've got anything to say about the games we talked about in this episode, or any recent things you've picked up. Just let us know down below, and until I see you again for another Parry's Pickups, it's goodbye and game on.
Cap, this is Peggy. Are you alright? That drop.
That was the easy part. But be advised, the flak's so heavy I could have walked down on it.
We know. The invaders are on their way to back you up, but we need you to take out the long-range AA cannons before they can safely airdrop.
Copy. Maintain schedule. By the time they get here, the skies will be clear. Captain America out.